everybody, Maestro here. Welcome to the Con's Court. Today we have something perfect. You're either perfect or you're not me. Perfect Cell. I'm so excited to get into this unboxing. I have been super stoked to get into this. Although it is the Dragon Star series, Perfect Cell. Funny little thing about this that I wanted to say before I got started to even getting into this unboxing and review of this figure. The Dragon Star series Cell, Final Form, Perfect Cell, has been notoriously known as a better cell than the SH Figuarts cell, the Perfect Cell. And the reason for that being is that the Perfect Cell from SH Figuarts is an older model. And it has not had any type of updated version of it. So that older model just doesn't look as good. And although it may have more articulation, more things that come with it, this one was notoriously known for actually having a better face model, better coloring, everything else like that. And once I had actually seen it in the box, in my hands, in real time, and I looked at other pictures of the SH Figuarts Perfect Cell, I realized what they were talking about. The brightness and the vibrance of the color of this figure, just by looking at it through the plastic, I realized it does look better. It looks more accurate to Cell, Perfect Cell, than the SH Figuarts one does. So when I found this figure, I was super excited. I went ahead and bought it immediately. And I was, like I said, so excited to finally be able to have this in my collection and to start unboxing it. So let's get right into this and get him right out of the box.
Ooh, consider that nerve touched.
How?
Because, Prince, like a soon-to-be broken man once said, you're either perfect or you're not me.
Boom. And here he is, guys. This is Cell Final Form, aka Perfect Cell, from the Dragon Stars series, Dragon Ball figures. This one, unfortunately, already starts off with something that I noticed as an issue. Now, this could just be the product that I bought. This could just be this figure alone. But as a collector, and I have had many Dragon Star series Dragon Ball figures, I have heard of this, but I have never actually gotten a figure like what I'm about to tell you before. But I know many other people have had multiple issues with this before. Getting the figure out of the box and realizing that the joints are super loose. And I'll show you what I mean. It's so unfortunate, especially with a character as good as Cell. Do you see the leg? This leg is super loose. When I go to set him down, look at that. Well, now he's standing good. Before, when I got him out of the box and set him down, he did that. He wanted to do the splits. You kind of have to like push his legs together to get him stand very well. I do believe this is just the one that I bought. It's just an issue with the one that I bought. But I do know that the Dragon Star series Dragon Ball figures do have this issue. When it comes to articulation, though, on every other limb, really good articulation, especially for a Dragon Stars figure. I mean, he has great rotation on his wrists. His wrists are able to move forward and back, as you can kind of see. They can also rotate very well. He also has his elbow joints, which also are very good. As you guys saw, his shoulder joints rotate very well and also go up and down very well. His head rotation is not nearly as good, but if you kind of push it hard enough, you can kind of get him to almost do kind of like a 180-ish here and there. Can't really get his head to go all the way back given how high his muscles on the back of his neck kind of go. He can kind of look down a little bit. He already comes out of the box kind of looking down as well, if you guys kind of noticed there. Moving on, we are going to start comparing this figure with some other figures from the Dragon Star series, Dragon Ball figures. We're going to start off first with Piccolo. As you can see here, this is the Dragon Star series Piccolo from Superhero. You can kind of see the size difference there. Piccolo already being a very tall character and a very muscular character as well. You can kind of see how tall Cell is compared to him. So a very accurate size comparison here. Cell is a very good size when it comes to comparing him to some of the other characters. That is about as tall as he was in the anime. So I very much like that his size is about as accurate as it needs to be. The colors are very good as well. I always remembered Cell being a little bit darker colored in green rather than someone like Piccolo. Piccolo being a little bit lighter of green. So it's very cool that we kind of get that. You can kind of see the darker shades there. I love the paintwork of all the different little splotches and squares there that Cell has. He has all of that in the anime, and it looks so good and translated so well into the physical embodiment of his figure. The black is very sleek, as you could tell. I really, really like the black, how dark it is. It looks very, very good. When it comes to the details of the paintwork and everything else, I actually like his paintwork and his plastic work a whole lot better than I like somebody like Piccolo. Piccolos are okay, but when it comes to that, he just looks so much better. If it wasn't for that very loose joint that is bugging me right now, it would be such a perfect figure. It would be so good. Get the pun? Perfect. We're going to go ahead and compare him to a smaller figure here. We're going to go ahead and put him up against Majin Buu, a.k.a. Kid Buu. Love this figure. There's not many Kid Buu figures out there unless you go for some off-brand figures and or figures that are not of an actual company, you know, Bandai Namco Entertainment type stuff or Dragon Star series or SH Figure Arts. If you go for a third-party source, there are many different Majin Buus, but there are not many brand Majin Buus. Like I said, from any of those other companies, this is one of the very few, and he looks great. I love this Kid Buu very much. That is him compared up to Perfect Cell. I love the bright vibrance of the pink of Kid Buu. I think it matches very well and contrasts with somebody as dark of a villain as Cell. Cell, although having very bright white hands and a face and neck and body under the actual suit that he has. This is technically his armor plating of his actual body. But when it comes to all the other parts there, very light, and then in contrast you've got the, you know, darker green, and then the completely solid black, and then the very dark purples here, which is actually supposed to be his skin, part of his body. Kind of weird to think that Perfect Cell is naked, even though he really isn't, you know what I mean? He doesn't look naked to us, but he technically kind of is. He doesn't really have any clothes. This is just plating on his body. So is like somebody like Frieza. Frieza is like basically completely naked. That's just a part of his body. I just think it's very, very funny to think about. But that is him compared, you know, kind of comparing him to some of the other figures, size-wise, color-wise, and detail-wise. I feel like this Cell is very, very, very detailed, especially for a Dragon Star series figure. Like I said, there are unfortunately those drawbacks that I've talked about. Moving on from those, we come with accessories. Not many. Literally one other set of hands. An open hand other set for key blasts, grabbing people's fists, things of that nature, kind of grabbing hands. That is really all that he comes with. But then again, Dragon Star series figures don't usually come with a whole lot anyways. We're going to go straight into the rating with this one. As you can kind of tell by the way that I am talking and kind of my tone when it comes to this figure, I have many things that I love about this figure and many things that unfortunately do not make this figure perfect. Number one really big issue that is bothering me is the obvious defect of this very loose leg. It does not need to be that loose. That is ridiculous. Makes it very hard for you to kind of stand him, pose him in any type of way. It restricts his ability to be stationary. It just really kind of screws up the whole mood. You know what I mean? Not really that perfect, are you? You're not very perfect. You're not living up to your name, Cell. You're not living up to it. Granted, the figure does say final form. It doesn't say perfect, so maybe he is living up to it. Final form, not perfect. Anyways, that is my big gripe, is the fact that I, unfortunately, I think got a defective one that has a very loose joint. I will have to find a way to make that a little bit more solid. I would hate to turn him into a kind of half statue and make one of his legs not move, but at the same time, that might be what I have to do. I'm hoping it doesn't come down to that. I'm hoping I can find a way to kind of make it better, kind of make his joint a little bit more stiff, but getting it straight out of the box for this unboxing, unfortunately, that is taking a lot of points away from him, making him go from perfect to not very perfect indeed at all. Very, very unfortunate. When it comes to the coloring and the details, like I said, gorgeous. Love the way that Cell looks. Cell looks so good. I love the breakaway effect of his kind of wings, how easy they are to pop off, kind of keeping you from actually breaking them. I like that aspect of it. I like how fluid his joints feel as well, except the one that is way too fluid. I like the way his other joints feel. They feel the perfect stiffness. They are not too loose. They feel very, very good. I love how much articulation he has, being a Dragon Star series figure. I really, really do like this figure, especially just looking at it. In totality, he really is, or should be, perfect. The only problem being that little defect. But like I said, that brings him down a couple nodes. So unfortunately, he is not going to be a 10 out of 10. You are not going to be perfect, unfortunately. You are going to be rated a solid 6 out of 10. I know. It is a very unfortunate thing. You are getting rated a 6 out of 10. That is very sad. As somebody who loves Perfect Cell, loves Cell in general, loves the Cell saga, I hate to even do that. But this is not a very good first impression. Maybe his rating will go up once I fix that, but that is a really big deal to me. When joints are that loose to where you can't even stand a figure up that well, and even the opposite, if joints are so stiff that you can't even pose a figure very well and you might as well have just gotten a statue, that brings down so many points for me you don't even understand. That unfortunately brings this down so far, and I hate to do that. But that is not the only reason it is going all the way down to a 6. The limited maneuverability of the joints and kind of the rotation of his head, his neck, him only really being able to see kind of straight forward and only down, and him not being able to look up. As you guys have seen through this entire unboxing, he hasn't really looked up at all. He doesn't really have much of an ability to look up, which is kind of an issue for me. And given the fact that he can't even stand on his own very well without being completely straight, and him having that loose joint, it makes it even harder for you to bend his body up for him to look up. So that just kind of adds to it. The other thing that is just a problem for me is he doesn't really come with a whole lot. He comes with one other set of hands, and that is it. He doesn't come with any type of blasting effects. He doesn't come with any type of Kamehameha, orb or ball. He doesn't come with any type of key blast. He doesn't even come with any type of key aura background that I've gotten with some of the other Dragon Stars series figures. He just does not come with a lot. And unfortunately, that brings him down all the way to a 6. All of those issues all together, bringing him down to a 6. I do not want to have to do that. I absolutely despise the fact that I have to rate him that way. But I also have to be true and honest, and that is just the way that I feel about this figure. When it comes to all the other figures that I have, comparing him to all the other figures that I have, his looks are great. He looks great, but once you actually start moving him around, get a hold of him, it is a completely different picture. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move over to some pictures that I'm able to make, posing him with some other figures. Hopefully it won't be too rough posing him, but as we know, with that very loose joint, it is going to probably be a problem. And there you guys have it. As cool as some of those pictures are, I was unfortunately right. Posing him was a bit of an issue with that very loose joint on his leg, that hip joint. It unfortunately made it a little bit difficult to pose him. Just kind of mid. It's not very good, Sil. You have failed me. As always, guys, if you all enjoyed my unboxing and review, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you all thought. And as always, I will catch you on the next video. Peace.